What's up everybody, and welcome back. And welcome to all the new subscribers, and if you enjoy the recommendation, consider subscribing if you're new, because today I'm recommending a manga that I really love. I'm recommending We Won't Become Adults, which is being made by Fujita Joe. It's 21 chapters, and it's a comedy, drama, psychological, romance, school life seinen. And boy, is it a drama and psychological. Not in the sense of like crazy stuff or people, because I know in my experience, most psychological is either crazy or horror, but this is neither. This is psychological for a completely different and understandable reason that becomes incredibly apparent by the end of the first chapter, which this first chapter catches you so off guard and grabs your attention instantaneously because after meeting the MC, Nanoka Ao, seeing him head to school when he gets to the gate, the FMC, Ichinose Mashido, is waiting for him in her bikini. Obviously, that's an unusual sight, even in a romance manga, especially for a first chapter. Going through the rest of the chapter, something's obviously not right. Not just because Mashido has a bikini on, but because neither of them go to class. Instead, they meet up at the geoscience preparation room before heading off to the school pool to play around, only for them to fall asleep on each other and wake up on Monday, July 7th again, because this is a time loop. This isn't a sci-fi time loop though. They're not trying to escape it or find out how they got in it. Instead, they're using the infinite time to experience all the youth they want, which this alone is an interesting take on it, because usually the story is to escape and along the way whatever romance may happen happens. Instead, in this, they don't care about finding anything out about the loop. Why? I don't know, but I think it's because of how long they've been in it, because all we know about the loop is that Mashido, she was the first one in it, and she doesn't remember how long she was in the loop before Ao became a part of the loop and discovered Mashido trying to end it, as in herself. And they've been in the loop together for so long that neither of them remember. So they may have already tried to find out how, why, and how to escape and have already given up. I don't know, and I like not knowing, because it really sells the feeling that they've been in this loop for an unimaginable amount of time, which is one of the best parts of this story, because it makes every chapter count even more, because it really feels like there is no past or future, only the present with what they're going to do today, and it's fantastic. I love this manga because I feel like their response to the situation, at least how deep in it they are, is so realistic, because obviously they fall in love and get together, but Ao at a point questions if it's actually real or situational, because they don't have anyone else. In this world, it's like they're the only two that are alive, because everyone else resets while they only physically do. So he wonders if what they have is real and is afraid to change it even though they like each other, because what if it's not real between them? What if the loop ends and they forget? What if it ends for one and not the other? Because remember, Mashido was in the loop first for we don't know how long, and neither does she. But because of how long it's been, they ask questions like this, because it's really like they're the only two alive. So the times where one may die, like when they were doing parkour, the other ends themselves because there's no point to even finish the day without the other. You also see these two having the best time they can in this endless loop as they develop into people that they weren't before. Like how Mashido used to go to university lectures while still in high school, and now she doesn't remember why she went or what she was going for or wanted to be. And it's not because the loop is affecting their memory, it's because they've been in it for so long to the point that their greatest fear is forgetting each other, because they're forgetting almost everything else. Now, not every chapter is this deep. Most of the chapters are fun things that they're doing that day, but the story doesn't shy away from these deeper conversations and moments, which is why I love it so much, and it's what makes it so fantastic. Obviously, the characters are a huge huge contributing factor to loving this as well, especially because this story only has 2 characters. Sure, they interact with others, but none of that matters when everything gets reset the next day, so it's really only a 2-character story. Ao seems like a gloomy guy, but I think he's really just a realist as far as this situation goes. So he seems gloomy, but I think he's more of a laid-back, takes things as they come, go with the flow kind of guy, which in this situation is probably the best way to stay sane. I'm not sure if he was like this before the loop began. Maybe he was, because he is an honest guy, just not very emotionally expressive, which could have stemmed from him being a gloomy outcast before the loop, because people have commented multiple times that they're surprised to see him show up for school. So obviously there was something going on before he even entered it. Mashido, on the other hand, is the much more energetic one who seems to make most of the plans about what they should do in a day. She's certainly more cheery, outgoing, and forward about her emotions than Ao, but I question how much of that is real sometimes. Outside of the loop, she was a Gravore model, so some of those characteristics can be expected, but in the loop, not all the time, but sometimes I think those characteristics are a cover. Case in point, before Ao joined the loop, I'm pretty sure Mashido was offing herself daily, and those feelings for the most part are gone, at least it seems that way, or they're at least under the surface because she has Ao with her. But if he's not there, she's right back to the same emotional place where she just wants to end it. Really, the only thing keeping them alive, as in emotionally, is each other, which is why their greatest fears now is change in either direction. This depth to the characters and what I believe to be realism of how people would feel caught in this situation is the reason I love this manga so much. Because if it was you and one other person, you'd form a ridiculously deep bond that you would then be afraid of ending because they're your world in a world that always stays the same. They're the only one that remembers what you do, say, and the emotions you share. So them fearing the loop ending and forgetting, or one leaving the loop while the other stays, it all feels relatable. Same as how their view of the world and people in it have been so warped by time, they don't see other people as even being alive. I mean, Ao hits someone with a car on accident and just keeps going, and neither him or Mashido cares because he'll be fine tomorrow. This manga is so fantastic, and that's some of the comedy that I love, because they do dark comedy like that, which works perfectly in a world where nothing matters. If you love drama and romance, you'll love this, and the depth of it, for me, takes it over the top. My only hope with this is that no one gets added to the loop and it becomes a let's solve this story. I would hate that, because one of the strengths of this story really comes from not doing that at all. So if you're looking for a more dramatic adult take on a time loop romance, I have nothing better to recommend than this. If it looks good to you, please check it out, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. If you want more recommendations, the Why You Should playlist and merch are linked in the description box below. Other than that, I'll see all of you in the next one.